you know if anybody called John to remind him.
That's the question.
Yeah, we have forms.
Yeah.
He was waiting on his phone, so maybe he's ringing.
3 minutes.
You know, I trust you anything from the representative for Howard County. She was supposed to send us something. And they're going to come from a Have you heard of that? It doesn't matter. This, you know, I'm trying to do all my spring or staying on the deck. These are a lot. Yeah, I have nothing on the task list got moved, and then on the task list is the first walking signs.
Right.
And I didn't get hold of that, so I'm trying to schedule that for next month. But yeah, I think if it wasn't for a board, it was trying to scramble around getting past the crowd. It's going to be pretty upset for split. Late split. I know. Oh, we did that another time, yeah. He pretty much walks in when we're on the last COA. Here's John. Just in time. Ralph doesn't call you that. Okay. How you doing, John?
This is a really cool meeting, party for this, so.
This should be great.
My son's soccer team, and U16 now. Yes, the postseason party. It's kind of a,
It was by the internship. Is it still?
tell you what, it's so cool. I have this thing to remind me.
Here he is.
I have this thing to remind me. A meeting 2 weeks from now.
We just got it.
Yeah,
Could have started without me.
and I tell it to remind me over and over again.
And now, do I have a move to close the meeting?
There you go.
Second.
Okay, your turn. Since he's up here listening.
Right. I'm not the last one.
Yeah, Spectro did a great job on detailing that, didn't he?
I was impressed with him. How detailed they were.
Yeah.
Great job.
I wonder if they want to put steps on the side where the escape hatch is, to climb up on the deck to get out, or it's just going to be scooting around.
That'd be one big step.
Well, like kind of like a ladder, just a straight up.
Yeah.
How long is an approval of a certificate of appropriateness good for? 1 year?
Site plans are good for 5 years.
Really?
Site plans,
So I don't
Don't know.
okay, the only question, the reason I asked that is QBE wants to put in windows in Pace. Okay, that's fine. But the purchase is not complete, may not be complete for a year. So if we sign it now, it's only good for 3 months or whatever.
You see, I'm assuming that a COA is kind of like
Yeah, as long as
approval
you
for
know.
as long as you have the place.
Our contract's good till April. So we don't even have a year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a minor issue, really.
And we have a real tight timeline, so I mean, we're going to know in a couple months.
In a couple months whether it's going to happen or not, yeah.
If we close or not.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, it's you guys.
Right.
If we can't,
Yeah.
if we don't need a land rezone.
Well, it's got
All about the wording.
process there.
So you're asking for approval of all 3 styles that you're showing? Okay.
So that's, and there's actually a fourth, but we couldn't detail it. It's the front of the building.
I saw that, yeah. I'm trying to see exactly how that would look.
Yeah,
You get these two. Okay, I call this meeting to order. I guess we'll do a roll call
Yeah.
Here.
here.
Here. Here.
Looks like we've got a full house. Okay, next agenda item. I see we do have some citizens out here tonight. Anybody here to make a comment during citizens' time? No? All those defending the COAs, okay. Then I'll move on to the next agenda item, minute approvals. You guys had a chance to look over last month's minutes?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Architectural Review Board regular meeting minutes from May 15, 2013.
I'll second.
And I have a motion and a second. Any discussions? Any corrections? Does anybody see? Okay, then I guess we'll move to a vote. All in favor of approving these minutes, say aye.
Aye.
So we got that. Okay. So minutes have been approved. Now we'll move on to the certificate of appropriateness. The first one on the list is 14550 John Marshall Highway. It's the window replacement for QBE's purchase of Pace West.
I'll make a motion to approve the window replacement at 14550 John Marshall Highway.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Up for discussion. Any discussions?
Hold on a second. I'm proofreading his narrative.
Now, do you plan on mimicking exactly how the CVS is? That's what you're using as a reference model here?
That's what we are. We're trying to make it as close to that as possible. And and the reason why I put the photos in there is because there's many different window types that exist today. So we're trying to, if you see the last building, which was built in the 70s, is only able to make basically a 2-frame section, versus the other 2 major buildings would be a 3-frame section. So we're going to keep the same height and lifeline across the building with the bottom 2, and then add a transom at the top. It should look very similar to not only some of the stuff at CVS, but also with the homes that are across the street. They have those transoms that are above. So we try to model that with the mullions. The coloring will be done so that it matches the metal sheathing around the roof. And then the only difference, and I couldn't model a photo when there is in the front of the building, you have basically the very unique single glass pieces that are in this very old 1935 frame. We're going to try to keep very similar with the three-frame system, and then have the
The arch.
transom, the arch transom at the top.
And that's for concept 3, right?
That's, yeah, I think that's where it shows the front of the building to show you the.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah, so you're not going to end up restructuring the window openings. You're just going to put windows in for the concept 3, right? So you're
Yes.
just pretty much going to follow the same thing
Right.
as what you have in the picture there, right? This was a modified picture.
That's not a modified, that's existing.
Okay, so you're pretty much just going to mimic the mullion structure and everything. Are you going to change the color to match the other ones? Or?
Yes, all the colors will match. The only difference will be on that front. Well, all of the windows today have that have the mullions that are like small single pane windows inside. That's the way they did. The new windows will all be a very energy efficient triple pane with the mullions on the inside.
Okay.
So it's not as pronounced of a mullion. But again, we're going for a very high efficiency and high energy. We just can't get that mullion to look that way. So we'll have the very standard window, like, and that's why I copied CVS, because that's how they have it in CVS. Right, that window that you see in there, that's actually a photo from CVS. So I said, this is in the town, it's adopted, right? It'll be part of the town concept. Very similar to what we have right now on our Costello building, where Foster's Restaurant is. It's just the color won't be white because that has a trim of white. We'll have a trim that matches the brown molding around the case.
and according to the diagram here, you're going to be putting these windows in both the actual historic structure and the structure that is not historic. My understanding is the back of the building is a newer addition, and it's not under the same guidelines as the front of the building. And is that correct?
So I just posit the term historic because I don't know if it's been registered as historic.
No, it's not.
But yes.
It's not registered as historic. Let's make no mistake about that.
Yes.
But the town has its own definition of historic.
Understand. So the first part of the building, which is the gymnasium and the two first classrooms, is 1935.
Right.
Then the next piece, which includes the cafeteria and the next two rooms, was 1946. Past that, you have 1968, which goes all the way back to the boiler on that map.
Right.
And then past that is the 782, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
And the 72 is the one that's odd, has the lower roof and doesn't have the height. And that's why we're trying to create that same sight line all the way down the building.
Yeah. So, and when you take a look at the building,
It's 45.
yeah. So this is the first. This is the original structure, and it's got, I think it says 1930 on the over here. Yeah. So it was built, in sections. 68. Yes, is back here.
There's no section.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
this
you
is
see it on back.
yeah. So this is the
Okay.
particularly the facade is
Understood.
yeah.
So I'm a little confused still. The very front of the very front facade.
Yep.
What's changing?
So today you have, so it's got the windows that are in there have the single pane glasses.
Understood.
With mullion.
Okay.
Right? What we're going to have is very much like your standard window. It's going to be a fixed window that has a fixed window with a mullion on the inside of the glass. So you'll be able to look at it. It's going to be that brownish mullion that matches the roof line. They'll be tinted for the low E. They'll have radon, argon, but it's not going to have that defined white line that you see there today.
It'll be there, but just not as prominent.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And it'll also be brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, discussion point. I'm not keen on change. Why are we changing the color? I mean, we have this white now. It kind of goes with that style of red brick schoolhouse. Why are we changing the color?
Well, it does. So on the back, the windows have been painted multiple times.
Of course.
So if you go towards the back of the building, it really doesn't look right until you get to the front of the building. This type of window it'll give. So we don't want to have multiple colors on the building. The brown is going to match the roof line, which is already a brown like
Rather-
bronze color.
Well, and it's gonna also, a lot of the stone and stuff is very weathered,
Yes.
and then the roof line, I can't remember the roof line offhand.
From this photograph, it appears somewhat
If I might-
metallic.
if I broke-
Come on up. Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely, please.
Yeah, so you can see here, and mostly on the sides, right here. So you see
Okay.
this
Yeah, yeah.
bronze all the way around. So this is a reddish, but it's going to be this bronze
Oh,
color.
I understood.
So if we have white, you're going to have a contrast, and the only thing on the sides of the building that would be white would be windows. And then when you get to the
Okay.
front, the only thing that you have, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't have anything on the front.
The only in the front, there's no white. It's just
It's the weather-
precast. Now,
Cream colored, yeah.
right, so we're going to actually replace that precast with existing and punch it up. That precast will stay
You're
precast.
going to, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
replace
that-
it with existing, I didn't get that.
No, that's not part of this application.
That's not part of this application.
Okay, so
So let's just look at the windows.
what's he
Yeah.
gonna do?
This is just going to be fixed up because it's deteriorating,
Okay,
Yeah.
right?
but it's gonna stay the same
It's
color,
going to stay,
basically?
it's going to be the exact same. They're going to replicate this exact same.
Oh, okay.
Everything, right? All of these will be fixed, but, right, these will just look
Mm-hmm.
more like the rest of the building.
Okay.
Given the nature of the energy efficiency, et cetera, of the window that you're looking at, you can't absolutely replicate what's there.
Right,
And
yeah.
if you take a look at these windows, these are all individual panes. all the I forget, it's not spackling and it's not grout, but all the application, it's all chipping and peeling. It's nasty. I mean,
Well, actually, you can completely reproduce it, just a dollar amount to do so.
That would be prohibitive.
And really the cost of the darker color is significantly more than the white, even though there is a higher cost. And we're talking about a 15% upcharge
Wow.
to get that darker color.
Glazing.
And, right, we figured it just looks much better when you hold that, to have that same color to match this roof line
Uniformity around. the
Yeah.
building.
around the building.
Definitely.
Right, in the front it's really shaded with the trees, but it's still going to pop. It's going to look so much better than it does today, even on
Yeah.
the front.
Yeah.
And then on the inside, because this is a gym, we'll have there would be a screen back to protect the windows from the basketball. Because half of these have actually been replaced or plexiglass today from the basketballs.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then the only other thing on the bottom, this sill, we talked that it's going to be wrapped in the same color metal. On the
Oh,
bottom.
okay. So you want, okay, 'cause that actually crossed my mind that you would have a different,
Yeah, that sill
Oh,
line,
okay.
because these sills are already degrading,
okay.
so they talked about replacing them, but the longer term, the better option was to have them wrapped.
Just, so these are aluminum windows, then?
They could be aluminum, fiberglass, or vinyl. All of them will be the same color,
Okay.
the same frame and style. We're still bidding it out. This is the spec that we're
Okay.
So when this gets completed, the window will pretty much be integrated into the wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you ended up putting white on there and make it pop out, it would stick out.
I don't know, I don't. Well, I don't know. For some reason, I'm not having an issue with the white. It's not, I mean, it kind of goes with the whole, it's an old school. I mean, I'm fine if you all want to change it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be changing it. I think it's really fine. That's it. But
So we are voting on all three treatments?
wait,
Just make-
the fact that it might be vinyl.
The styles, not the
Oh, I see what you're
material,
saying.
the
Okay,
styles,
yeah,
right.
the
The styles
Oh,
are
I
the
see.
irrespective of the
Right.
material, we're voting on all three.
Let's see, okay, so like this. Okay, so I guess the proportions for these windows here, he's going to basically keep the same proportions,
Right.
that's what he's trying to do, and then add
Yeah.
a transom.
Right. Because it is, I mean, you can see that the windows, since it was built over
Same
30-some
deal.
years, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. It works. Fine.
Anybody have any more questions? Okay, so I guess we have this on the floor to accept as is. So we're ready to vote? Yep. Okay, all in favor of accepting the COA 14550 John Marshall Highway without any modifications, say aye.
Aye.
It's a full house. So we're good to go, Sean.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 4B, 14963 Kiwi Place. We got a application for a fence.
I make a motion to approve zoning permit ZP 2013-0531 at 14963 Kiwi Place, an aluminum black ornamental fence.
Second.
And I have a second. Okay, for discussions. Any questions you guys have?
I think this is standard style. I've seen a couple of these back there.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's one of yours. No questions from anybody then? Okay, I guess we'll go for a vote then. All in favor of 14963 Kiwi Place fence COA, say aye.
Aye.
So we're good. We're good to go on that one.
Yes, it's actually,
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks for
wow.
the
How did
details.
that get on your?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
Oh, wow.
ours is full size. Not sure what happened to your printout.
Must be a printer issue. Okay, move on.
Mine's like,
A little teeny cube in the bottom of the corner.
We knew who's about to shrink.
Okay, now we'll move on to 14966
actually-
Kiwi Place.
the entire rest of it is that way.
Yeah.
We have another one over here?
Oh, he's, okay.
Oh, well, thank you. No. You're writing on. No. We got
Yeah,
another.
or we can share, either way.
All right, fine.
I'll make a motion to approve the deck and fence zoning permit ZP 2013-0531, deck and fence at 14966 PD Place.
Okay, we have a
Thanks.
move on a second. We're open for discussion. Any discussion?
Yeah. Great picture presentation. It's awesome.
Yeah, this definitely has the details. I really appreciate the decking presentation. Got to give your builder kudos for that.
Nice.
I put it together, so.
Oh,
Okay.
you did
Really?
a good job.
Good job.
Looks nice.
Yeah, I thought the fence said board on board, but when you really look at the details of it, it's not a board on board. It's the standard dovetail pickets that we approved for Horton way back when. So I'm assuming you're mimicking with lining 66. So, yeah. I mean,
Oh, so it'll match that, okay, the very,
Wait, so they
Yeah.
look like this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have any questions.
And the deck is going to be stained, there are two colors,
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I want to stain it yet. I'm not sure if I want to stain the trim the green, or the main part the green, and the trim the beach color.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Do we have any jurisdiction over that?
Sure.
As long as it's going to match.
Yeah, but they have a homeowner's
Yeah,
association.
Yeah, it's going to be that or that, I understand.
Right,
that.
yeah.
But,
So it'll match the existing structure.
yeah, but he's going to stain that entire section?
No, deck.
Deck stain.
Deck stain. Green fence, there we go, okay.
Right.
So, any questions?
Is else is acceptable with their HOA.
Yeah, I didn't see any HOA in here.
Yeah, I received approval through the HOA.
Okay.
I just haven't received the actual letter in the mail yet.
Yeah, not actually our concern, but it's always nice that you have that.
Still see some people flipping through.
Ah,
Assuming
yeah,
we're
we're
not
fine.
done. We're all done?
Fine.
Okay, then,
Step back.
I have a motion and a second on this, so I guess we'll go for approval. All in favor of approving the COA for 14966 Kiwi Place, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays? We're good to go. Thanks for the details, it was great. Okay, we got a late COA coming in, so I guess I got to move to change our schedule, right?
Our agenda.
We're going to go through the agenda. Okay, so I guess I put a movement out there to amend the agenda with the COA.
Second.
Okay, move a second, everyone vote aye?
Aye.
Aye, good. Okay, I guess everybody doesn't have details on this one, so it's never made it to the packet. So, it's pretty much signs to place on St. Paul's. Not St. Paul's. Is it St. Paul's? Yeah,
St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
Okay, I was thinking it was a Baptist church. So, okay, to put signs on St. Paul's. I guess they're going to be putting signs somewhere.
Yeah,
Pass
yeah,
that around.
yeah.
So,
Planning Commission, we've
it's a
looked at this
standard-
and we have to have the public hearing and,
Okay. Oh, that's not good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a standard church-style sign. You get in here.
Pieces like that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, PC has it, due to the ordinance, we have to actually hold a public hearing on this, which I think we're doing on the 8th. Okay, yeah.
Pretty much list of all the signs and since you saw it all. I'll send it this way first.
No, I've seen it, the PC's seen this, so I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Now, right now, I'm flipping through right now. I see different pole styles. Is there a description of the pole styles in here that you're going to use for hanging the signs? Or?
No, there isn't a description. It doesn't come with a pole. You have to provide the pole yourself. You just
Right.
receive the signs and the hanger to attach to a pole. So if you have a preference on the pole, whether it be silver or black, personally I was going to look for something that was black to match the hanger, because the hangers are black.
Okay, so the hanger in that picture is pretty much the hanger you're going to use, and you're just
Yes.
going to use a circular or a square pole
Yes.
to attach it to with some type of finial cap on it, or
Are you going to go with the red or the blue? I see two.
Blue.
Two. The blue? Okay.
Go with the blue.
So it'll look very much, other than the name of the church, it'll look very much like this photograph I'm
Just
looking
like
at.
the photograph.
yeah. When these get around to you, you can see they even put the writing that they're putting in and everything.
Oh, okay.
It's a comprehensive package.
And here's kind of the locations, if you want to see the locations. I'll pass that down the rows and stuff.
Oh, Brick Church building is here. Oh, it's way over here.
It's standard, so
Yeah.
people
Well, the cemetery is here.
talking about that.
Oh, this is the parking lot. Oh, the parking lot's here. I thought this was parking here.
These are the signs. There's like 3 or 4 signs in there. Some wayfinding
This is something
signs.
Just short map there.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, that's just it in there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So there's going to be 2 of these signs? One in front of the parsonage and one in front of the
Have you looked through these pages? I think you can see like a wayfinding sign in there, so I think one of them is probably a wayfinding. One's probably identifying the daycare while the other's identifying.
There's 3 signs. One is for the church, one is for the old rectory, and one is on the corner of Washington and Fayette,
Yeah.
which we used to have until it was removed recently.
Okay.
And that's a directional sign like he was referring to point people down the street towards the church.
So all three signs will look the exact same except for the black on white lettering.
Just the wording.
And you'll say rectory in front of one of them. You'll say
They'll also say St. Paul's, and one will say church, one will say the old rectory, the one on the street will say church.
Gotcha. Okay. They're all the exact same size. Dimensions.
What I'll do though, sign that with the same replacement. Just say we'll improve it with the definition of the photos and the camera, the square, whatever.
Make a motion to approve zoning permit ZP 20130604 for signage at St. Paul Episcopal Church with the minimum of knowing and making sure that the poles match the brackets, that round or square, whatever she fit, fitting on top, everything nice matchy-matchy.
Sounds good.
Okay, and I'll try to put some detail in.
Second that motion?
We got a movement and a second. I guess we kind of did some discussion, but any other discussions? My only discussion would be when I do the approval, I'm going to put a contingency to give a little bit more detail on the sign, which is kind of what she said. Some type of cap on it, probably a finial or something that's
The only thing I didn't mention in the letter was, I mentioned finial, I didn't mention the pole, like the color or the shape. I just used the word pole. So
okay. Yeah, and I'll leave that option. I mean, square, rectangle, or circular, that's okay, standard.
But a matching color.
Yeah, just a matching color.
It's going to be black. You said matching color. It's going to be black.
That's what
Right, the hanger's already black. It's
Yeah,
just-
let's
we're
go
gonna
ahead.
have the
Let's
pole
just
to
go ahead and
match the
specify
hanger.
black.
Yeah, pole to match the black hanger.
Yeah.
I'll put that detail in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a movement. Second, I guess we can go up for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have a question, maybe it's kind of off the side. I noticed the front doors.
Of the church? That's a very good question. Do you want me to talk about that for a minute? We're actually receiving bids now for projects to restore the doors. So we have a lot of that on our mind with the property right now, because there's been a lot of deferred maintenance for about a decade, or longer. So the doors are coming up soon, we hope. So we'd be coming here, we'd be coming back again with those.
And does that include, I need to mention, the front steps? I
Well-
noticed there's a crack
Yeah.
to the one side.
We have lots of projects on our line.
Well, those were the two that jumped
Yeah.
out at me. I was out walking one evening, I went over and sat on the steps to the church. and
The
looking at
steps
the
need some
doors.
work, the railings need some work.
Yeah.
The immediate problem for us are the doors, because they're just really, really hard to open and close. And one of them actually is beginning to come out of the door jamb. So we're concerned about it hanging, being present, instead of falling over on top of someone, because they're huge and heavy. So
And
we
they're
thought
really
we,
nice looking doors in there.
Are you planning on just replacing what is? I mean, just replacing them or fixing them up the way they are?
our hope, we're receiving bids on is to restore them.
Okay, then does he need to come to us for that? You don't need to
Not
come
if
to
it
us for that.
changes
If you're just,
color, if it doesn't
well,
change color or anything like that.
If essentially you're restoring it, you don't need to go through us. If it's replaced the same, yeah.
oh, if it's change of color, he said that you'll have to come.
Well, yeah, like if they can't match the color, but they get something as equivalent as possible, that's okay. But like if you wanted to go from green to red, then that would have to come up.
But we'd like them to be the same. We'd like to keep doing that with the property, whatever's there, restore what's there if possible. If not, we have to replace something that's beyond.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to match it as close as you possibly can, then I don't think you would need to have anything else.
Okay. That's good to know.
Okay, I guess we'll move on. I want to take an interruption in the agenda, though, and I guess introduce our new town manager. I don't know how many have met him. Plus, do you have anything that you're here for? You're just here to...
No, I'm just here to introduce myself to the ARB, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it last month, but I was inundated with trying to really catch my breath a little bit. So but I'm happy to be here this month, and really, I just wanted to let you know, I'm here. My door's open. If there's ever any issue that you'll need any help with, please don't hesitate. I'll be happy to help. I do have experience. My prior experience was in the town of Stevens City, and I actually served as the clerk and advisor for the HPC, which was our Historic Preservation Commission, which basically essentially acted as our ARB. One of the other things I also bring to Haymarket is also I walked the town of Stevens City through becoming a certified local government, which I know is something you all have been looking at too, and so I'm hoping we'll be continuing down that path and work with you all in any way possible. So,
have you found benefits?
Sorry?
Have you found benefits in being a CLG?
Yeah, we actually replaced all of our signage, our street signage, because there is a grant program through it. They also can do historic, a lot of times, a lot of the CLGs use those funds, those sub-grant categories to go through and do like a new analysis of the historic structures to see what would be contributing, what would not be contributing. But the other thing is, what most jurisdictions don't realize, you actually can use those sub-grants to do some small projects to enhance your historic district, which in here we have the entire town as a historic district. One of the projects we did was we actually wanted to identify our historic district a little bit better. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about what we did in Stevens City, but as it relates to the CLG and relates to if it's worth it, what we did was we actually went through and we identified the historic district by setting all new street signs. We did like an antique kind of approach to street signs. We went with wood, 4x4 wood posts that were made of birch, stained black, and then we did an ornamental decorative street sign plate and frame for all the street signs. So all the streets in the historic district all have black street signs. And then one of the things we found was we actually found like a little lantern top that we sat on top of each of the posts. And it's solar powered. So it's not to provide street light. It's really just kind of provide like a little lantern on each corner. And actually really has a unique effect. But we did that just because we were able to do something. We were able to get a sub-grant through the CLG.
We definitely wouldn't need any lanterns, though, with our runway.
Oh, I know. That was, but you see, the thing is that worked there. There's something that would work here too. So, I think there are benefits. I think a lot of jurisdictions, especially smaller towns, don't take advantage of it. I know it's one of those challenges. They might be encouraging. I do know a little bit about history about whether or not you should shrink down the historic district. I think those are things that you can. I don't think they're going to make you do that. I think it's more of a matter of figuring out what works best so that we can be more effective with our preservation.
Right. Well, that's the main decision. I mean, I approached the council to say, hey, did you want to go this way? Because I heard this existed and you could get some type of funding to do special projects. And then the analysis is boiling down to, are we really going to be able to get funding? Is it worth our effort to restructure and pay the costs to restructure under the option of whether we're going to get funding or not? Right. So, like I said, I just wanted from experience somebody who could demonstrate what the benefits are.
Well, the one thing I can tell you is, in working with like David Edwards, who works for the Department of Historic Resources, that office is actually based out of Stevens City. He does do work here in our area as well. His region basically is covered through here. He and I have talked. I mean, they're excited. They kind of looked at Stevens City because there's not a whole lot of small towns. The truth is, Stevens City and Haymarket are actually about have really a lot of unique characteristics that make them similar between them being right on 81, Haymarket being right on 66. They both have populations about the same size, different character, definitely. I mean, the development here has come on a lot more newer and vibrant development than the town does. The town has a lot more of, it has some absentee landlords, and so they do constantly battle with that. But I think it's worth it. Now, understand, it's not a huge pot of money you're going for. But it's one of those things that if you partner it up with the right thing, and sometimes a smaller project actually will be just as visible as these large projects. And that's what a small town's all about. And that's one thing I've learned in the month and a half I've been here is that, or actually a little over a month I've been here, is that that's something Haymarket prides itself on is the fact of being a small town in the months amidst a lot of growth and development. And I think, I know it's been other previous board members as well, but I think you all have done a really good job about creating this, because I can tell you, having been all over the state of Virginia, in a town this size, to get some of the growth and development and the style that you all have gotten, it's not done. It's just not done. So with that being said, I would commend you all.
Has he presented to the committee with any of his experiences?
He has not spoke to the council in regards to the CLG as of yet.
Okay.
It's done.
Just something for you to churn. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll move on then. We got the town council update, agenda 5.
The only update I was going to do was to introduce
Oh, you got me, didn't I?
Man, I
hate doing that.
But really no update as of yet. There's going to be in regards to ARB, nothing new happening.
Okay. On that note, we'll move on to planning commission update.
Talking about the historic overlay. New planning commissioner, new lawyer. Lawyer apparently is wanting to tweak the language.
So it means we got another 3 months to add on to getting this through just that portion.
So we have not seen. I have not seen that language. I really don't know what's going to come of that. I mean, we have discussed it, but that's it. So, in terms of the QBE stuff, apparently, I had no idea that they were going to do the windows. This is the first time he's talked about redoing the facade in front and stuff like that. Not that it has a whole lot of impact on the ARB, but they have a contract to purchase. I didn't know that it ended in April, but that's nice to know. There is a boundary line adjustment going on. There's rezoning going on to go commercial. I don't know that impacts what we do, though, does it? Not at all. Okay, we don't really care what it's zoned. Okay.
Right.
I mean, it's
What it looks like.
yeah, well, it's consuming a lot of our time in terms of what the zoning is going to be. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come back with more stuff, depending on. Yeah, we're having a joint public hearing on both the 27th and 28th, joint with the town council on the 27th, planning commission normal one on the 8th, to talk about the boundary line adjustment. So there's quite a bit going on with that. If that goes through, like you said, they're probably going to do a lot of restoration or a lot of changes, additional stuff. So depending on how that works out, there may be a lot of stuff coming up to the ARB. That's it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for us? That means we get to move on to agenda item 7, old business, the ARB task force. If you look on it, pretty much everything on it's on hold except for the welcome signs. But I'll go over it real quick. Nothing's really changed with the bylaws, because of course, until we get some type of strike on what's going to happen with the CLG. So every month I'll just revisit it. Caboose project, that's still trying to figure out what's going on with that now that they've juggled the money around on that. Who was funding that? Was it the railways, right? The railways gave us that funding, and then they decided to change around how they wanted it.
Well, VDOT funding change,
Yeah, maybe it was VDOT.
VDOT funding change has occurred since the last time work, and Jen was assessing out what the department going to impact from it.
Yeah, so Jen's still evaluating that because she can't get us through the story.
I've reached out to Southern Railroad themselves to see if they would like to donate, not grant, not anything, just straight up donate. I know a couple people at Southern Railroad for its restoration. And I'm actually awaiting a call back from one of the historians of Southern Railroad. And they were the ones that originally donated it to the town, so they may be interested. Just on a personal, trying to get stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the welcome signs, of course, like I said, I've been going through my spring cleaning and my personal life and business life has kind of overcome my activity for the month. So I haven't had a chance to get a hold of Bud Kroger and move this any further forward. I'll try to do it in July, but boy, I'll tell you what, summer months, things are going to slow down. So I'll see what I can do to reach out to Bud and get what he kind of excited when we met. He really excited me saying that he was going to come up with a full package that showed the costing and the manpower and everything to go from the concept to getting these things planted in the ground. And the only effort we would have to do would be to get the permits from VDOT. But I don't see that activity going on. So I got to reach out, maybe stimulate him, and get an understanding on if I misinterpreted what he said or not.
You're still waiting for some feedback from Attorney for Holland Ground on that as well, correct?
Yeah, I haven't gotten anything more from Attorney through Holland Ground from the presentation we had at last month's meeting. So I'll have to follow up with her. But still, I'm going to try to move forward, whether the journey gets integrated in or not. I'm not really worried about, because truly the sign that would need to get integrated in with it, which is our major cost sign, is a minimum of 3 years down the road anyways, because we can't do it until that overpass gets complete.
Correct.
And now that's been put on hold, so it may be even more than 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
It'll just be
Have you had any discussion with Johnny Jaffer with the Rarians about the signage and that? Because at one of the, I don't know if it was their board meeting or the regular monthly meeting, there was something that was brought up. They were questioning the sign up here in 15 and 55, and there was somebody that said that they'd be interested in maybe seeing what they could do to help the town. So if
Yeah.
Tony out sometime, you might want to flag him down and talk to him.
something worthwhile. All help is always good, because you may be able to move things faster. Other than that, we got the certified local government. There's I guess going to be a few more months down the road. I'll avoid Ralph commented on with the lawyers wanting to look at the verbiage. Other than that, I think that's a complete picture of where our tasks sit at this point. Any questions for me?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning at that clock is accurate.
Yes,
14 till 8. I'll say aye.
Aye.
We are closed. I didn't bring a pen, Sherry, so I got to